so much for joining me for this full-length inner and outer thigh reformer class. My name's Emily. To begin today, I have all my props set up. I have my standing platform. I have 2 sticky mats. If you like a sticky mat for your carriage, you can have one of those. If you like a sticky mat for your platform, have one of those instead or as well. I just like a sticky mat for my platform personally. But there are some days that I prefer one for my carriage as well, so make your own choices. I also have something to rest my head on when I'm lying on my side. I prefer a yoga block. You can use a small squishy ball, a little pillow, a rolled up towel, whatever you think works best. I have my handles on, but I also have my feet straps, and I have my footwork springs on currently. That is 3 to 4 springs on my machine. I use 3 greens and 1 red. That is 3 heavies and 1 medium. So let's go ahead and begin. We're going to come down onto our sides. We're going to place our heels on the foot bar in a Pilates V position. Find a nice neutral spine, nice long neck. Our knees are tracking with our big toe. Pressing in through the heels, we're going to press out on the inhale and exhale to release it back in. As you press out, since this is an inner and outer thigh class, make sure you're rotating the femur and the hip socket. Squeezing your inner thighs towards the midline, pulling up through the tip top of your head and pressing out through your heels. And as you inhale, you press out, and as you exhale, feel your ribs wrap even tighter as if you're wearing a corset. Really feel that connection in your body and make sure that you have a stable sacrum the whole time. Let's do 2 more. Platform your shoulder blades, guys. And now come in halfway, and we're going to pulse down. 2, keep your sacrum really stable here, no tucking. And press out, and come back in. Now we're just going to slide down to the balls of our feet, keeping the same Pilates V position. We're going to inhale out, and exhale in. Same thought process. We're not pressing through our heels anymore. We're pressing through the balls of our feet. So it's a different sensation. When you press through the heels, you get more of the back chain of the body. When you press through the balls of your feet, you get more of the front. But we still want to maintain that inner thigh connection. Really pull everything in towards the midline. And as you exhale, wrap your ribs, sink your belly button to your spine. One of my favorite images for this is from my instructor, Katie Rowley. Imagine that your belly is made of warm butter. I love butter. And you have a warm marble in the center. And as you exhale, the marble sinks down to your spine. 1 more. Come in halfway. Again, we're going to pulse down. 2, 3. Keep your sacrum stable. Good. Don't forget to breathe. And press it all the way out, drawing everything towards the midline, and release in. Keeping still, Pilates V position. We're going to slide to a wide second position with our heels on the outside of the foot bar. Our knees are still tracking over our big toes. We're going to inhale out, pulling up, still pulling towards the midline, even though our thighs are not touching, and exhale, resist back in. And inhale, and exhale, resist. See if you can really find that connection to the femur and the hip socket, really rotating, tracking your knee over your big toe. Good. Keeping everything in alignment so you're not damaging your knee or causing any undue stress in your knee in any way. Here's 8. See if you can widen your shoulders a little more without pulling your 12th rib up off the mat. Okay, we're on 10, so come in halfway and pulse down. 2, squeezing your glutes, squeezing your inner thigh. Good. Press it out and in. We have 1 more set of pulses. All we're going to do is pop up to the balls of our feet in a forced demi-point, forced arch, high heel position. I have the weight basically between my big toe and my second toe. I'm going to press it out, keeping my heels high, pulling up, shooting energy out of the top of my head. Resist it back in and inhale. If you feel like your shoulders can be a little wider and you're not quite getting where you want to be, flip your palms up to the ceiling. Pull that 12th rib in the back down to the mat. Continue breathing, wrapping your ribs, dropping your belly in the exhale. 2 more. down, 2, nice flat sacrum, nice neutral spine. Press it all the way up, and resist the springs in. Now come onto your heels, and your feet, your legs are going to be connected in the middle, all the way squeezed together from your big toe to your heels, to your ankles, to your knees, your calves, to your thighs. As if you have one mega leg. We're going to inhale to press it out, and exhale it back in. Our feet are flexed the whole time. We're trying to pull all of our toes back equally. If you take a glance up, a lot of times one side of your toes wants to come up more than the other one. See if you can pull the toes to be a little bit less active. Back as far as the toes that really want to pull back. Here's 8. Find that hollowness from hip to hip. And one more, squeeze everything in. If you feel your knees start to go, just make sure that you're squeezing them in towards the center and not allowing them to go further apart or any closer than they normally would. Now slide down to the balls of your feet and that forced arch, demi-point, high heel position, still in the mega leg, still squeezing our legs together the whole time. We're going to inhale out and resist it back in. Inhale. Make sure your knees aren't slapping against each other. Squeeze them in with your inner thigh. Retain an active connection the whole time. And pause at the top and pull up tall and resist it back in. Good. One more. When we come back in, we're going to press out one more time. We're going to drop our left heel under as our right knee bends. Feel the nice stretch down your calf. Feel the nice openness in the front of your hip. And pull all the way up. And then drop the right heel. Stretch out through your right calf. Really open up. Don't allow your hips to shift one way or the other. You want to keep them completely even. You just want to crease at your hip flexor to accommodate dropping your heel under the footbar. So inhale and exhale. Let's speed it up a little bit. Good. Can you speed it up a little bit more with that rocking and rolling? It requires a lot of connection, a pretty deep rib connection, really wrapping your ribs to keep everything stable, hollowing out from hip to hip. Requires a little glute action, a little inner thigh action, platforming on the shoulder blades. 2 more sets each side. Keep your hips even. Don't allow one to shift up or down as you move. Final set. Squeeze everything up at the top. Squeeze your leg together and drop your heels under for 1, 2, 3, and lift. 2, 3. Slow and controlled. Huge inner thigh connection. Nice neutral spine. Good. Keep it going. Here's 7. 8. Nice openness in the front of the hips. 1 more. Squeeze your legs together. Now drop your heels under. Micro bend in your knees. Woo. Allow your legs to relax. I feel a burning sensation leaving my legs personally. Go ahead and bend your knees to come all the way back in. Come to the side. Come up to sitting. We're going to do some single leg footwork. I'm going to drop it down to 1 medium, 1 heavy spring. On my machine, that is 1 green, 1 red. I do not use half springs. I'm going to come back down the line. I'm going to come onto my back. I'm going to be in a Pilates V position on the balls of my feet. I'm going to extend my left leg over the foot bar. I'm going to extend my right leg, draw my knee into a bent knee passe position. If you feel your knee start to go like this and your hip come up, try to bring your knee up a little closer to the ceiling. Extend your leg up to the ceiling, rotating the femur and the hip socket to really get that nice thigh area work. Bend your foot to your knee, bend your right leg, and extend your foot over the foot bar. And now pull it in and extend. Bend your knee, drag your foot down your leg, extend over the foot bar. Good. Extend, Flip your palms up to the ceiling if you're looking for a little more openness. This is a ballet heavy move, but it is going to help our inner thighs. For this inner thigh work today, we are working a little bit more ballet heavy than usual. We're going to go to 8. So this is 7, and here is 8. Now we're going to go into kicks, so we're going to flex both feet, driving the heel under the foot bar, bring our foot down, and point both feet to lift it up. And flex and lower, and point and lift. And flex and lower. Try to keep your hips really stable. We're rotating the femur and the hip socket on both legs. Oop, that pointed and pointed. Now we'll reverse and point and flex to lift. Because I messed up. And flex to lift. Let's do one more. I hope I remember that on the other side. And flex to lift. All right, guys, keeping a nice pointed foot, I'm going to pull my foot across the midline, leaving both hips completely grounded. Come back to center and float my leg out to the side slightly, really grounding in that right hip. I'm going to feel it strongly in my obliques. And across and to the outside. It's probably a small movement. Good. Really wrap your ribs here, really as if you're wearing a corset, to allow your leg to float to the outside so you have a nice, strong support system for your body and your hips. One more. Bring your foot back up to the center, flex both feet. We're going to do 4 small circles in each direction with flexed feet. So inhale, across, and exhale, back up. Inhale, and exhale. Here's 4. Now we're going to reverse. Inhale to the outside, exhale across the body. And inhale. Keep both hips equally grounded. One more. And now, bend your knee in and just float your leg across the foot bar. Now give that left leg a hug. You did a lot of work, right? Now I'm going to take my feet back into the Pilates V position. I'm going to extend my right leg over the foot bar. I'm going to extend my leg, and as I extend my left leg, I'm going to drag the toe of my right foot up my knee and extend it at the top, straight up. Don't pull it up like this, because you're going to rock back on your hips. You have a nice neutral spine. Bend your knee. Allow your foot to drag down as you extend it over the foot bar and drag it in and up. And when your left leg is fully straight, extend your leg, bend your leg, and extend. Good. Don't allow your hips to shift on this, just like we were talking about earlier. Flip your palms back up if you need a little bit more shoulder opening. Let's do 2 more. Good. And extend. And up at the top. And now we're going to flex both feet, kick your right leg down towards the foot bar and point to the lift. And flex. After we do 4, we'll reverse the kicking foot choreography, because I messed that up last time. Now kick down with a pointed foot and flex it up. And point and flex. Here's 3 and flex and 4 and lift. Ground through both sides of your hips. Point your foot. Allow your foot to take tuck across the midline and back to the outside. I know a lot of times when we come across the midline, we lift the hip of the leg that's moving. We're not doing that here. We're really rotating the femur and the hip socket, just squeezing it across, filling in that. There's still a nice stretch, but we're not lifting that hip. Here's 7. 1 more. And here is 8. Now come back to the center, flex both feet. Rotate the femur and the hip socket, 4 small circles in each direction. Inhale across and exhale back up. Really wrap in the ribs so that while the leg's moving, you really hollow out from hip to hip, connect everything together so that you're not moving in your body. You're really stabilizing through there. Reverse, inhale to the outside and exhale back up. And inhale, and exhale. Inhale. I lost count, we're gonna do one more. Inhale, and exhale. Now bend your knee to bring the foot bar back in, and give that right leg a little bit of a hug. Good job, right leg. I'm gonna come up to sitting. I'm going to find my shoulder block, or my yoga block for my headrest. I'm going to leave my headrest out. It's more comfortable for myself personally. Do whatever you need to do to come down for sideline. Our body position in the box of our body is going to be the same for mat sideline. So we're going to have a slight lift in our obliques, really wrapping it together so we're not sinking into anything. We're going to stack our hip over our hip and our shoulder over our shoulder. So I'm going to come down to lying. I like my block up on my temple. I don't like it on my ear. I can't explain it. But anyways, that's what my block looks like it does, right? From there, I'm going to bring my heel up to the foot bar, and I'm going to bring it to the front. I have my left hand wrapped around my peg, or you can wrap it around your shoulder block, and I have my right hand, the top hand, pressing into the shoulder block. I'm going to extend my left leg underneath the foot bar. It's going to give me additional inner thigh work, because if I scrape my leg against the skating platform, I'm not keeping a nice lift with my inner thigh. And now I'm going to press out with my heel and resist it back in. If at any point you find that the weight's too much for you, please go ahead and adjust the weight to your preference. We do still have it on one red, one green, or one medium, one heavy. Inhale and exhale. Try to make sure that you're not tucking, you're really pressing through the heel here. This is a lot of glute work. Outer glute, back glute, or I guess, well anyways, the outside of the back. I can't think of the exact name right now, I'm sorry about that. Good. And now press it out and hold it. And now squeezing your inner thigh, lift your leg up, lift it up and lower. Don't allow your body to shift to move your leg. Let your inner thigh do the work. 3 more. Here's 9. And here's 10. Squeeze it up at the top. Now bring it forward and back. We're squeezing it to the back by squeezing our glutes. This is a tiny movement. We're not allowing any shifting to happen in the box of our body. If you're feeling it in your inner thighs, so am I. It's the goal of the class, unfortunately. Now, bring it back to center. Now, leave your leg lifted in tiny circles, 10 in each direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reverse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and come back in. Now, bring your leg in for just a second. We're going to take our top leg and rotate it so that we're rotating the femur and the hip socket so that our knee's naturally staying in line with our big toe. We're going to extend that leg back under again, and we're going to press up by rotating the femur and the hip socket the whole time. You shouldn't feel a shifting back on your hips. If that's the case, really rotate and squeeze your glutes. Still lifting up out of our side closest to the mat. Take a look down. Make sure that your knee is tracking over your big toe. We shouldn't feel any pressure in our knee, but we should feel some pressure on our inner thigh here, right? Good. Let's do 2 more and add on the same series. And now I'm going to squeeze my bottom leg up and lower. 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leave it lifted and front and squeeze back. Rotating the femur and the hip socket on your bottom leg that's working as well. So think of yourself as trying to lead with your heel as you pull it forward. Lead that heel forward as you pull back. Good. 9 and 10. Come back to center. 10 small circles in each direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still rotating the femur and the hip socket. 9, 10. Reverse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Resist the springs back in. remove our head support real fast. We're going to come through the center and we're going to do a series of heel beats and walks that are going to repeat through the entire class. We're going to do some straight walks in parallel. We're going to do some heel beats, turn out in Pilates feet. And we're going to do some ballet beats where we're crossing at our thighs, not our ankles. We're going to do them at working level, and then we're going to move them to the ceiling and move them back to working level. So, to begin, let's go ahead and find our pegs or shoulder blocks. When you do that, make sure that your ribs aren't flaring. This is just a lovely way to stay. We're going to turn our feet to parallel, flex it, and we're going to do tiny walks. 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep a neutral spine. And now we're going to walk up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Turn out to Pilates feet and beat your heels for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. 2, 3, 4, 5. The movement should be coming from your thighs, guys. Now ballet beats. 1, 2. When you do each side, that counts as 1. 5, 6. Neutral spine. 7, 8. Pull down on the shoulder blocks or pegs. Really connect under your arms and support the box of your body. And now up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. 2. Cross your thighs. 4, 5. Place your feet on the footbar if you can. Grab your headrest or your head support. Come up to sitting on the opposite side. We're going to place our head support down, come down to lying. My bottom hand's grabbing my peg. My top hand's pressed into the shoulder block. My heel is at the front. I'm trying to find a nice 90-degree position, but my leg is lined up with my body, coming straight out of my hip. Now from here, pressing through the hip, I will lift my obliques as I'm going to let you answer. I'm going to press and resist and press. Inhale and exhale. Try to stack your hips so you're not swinging back onto your low back. That could cause some low back pain later. Some sciatic issues if you already have them. Don't let your hip hike when you do this. Make sure that you're just creasing at the hip. Good. Now press out and stay there. Using the inner thigh, pulse up and up. Don't allow your side to sink when you do this. Good. Really pressing into that heel. Staying up, and now we'll go forward and squeeze your glute for back. And here's 2. And 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. And squeeze your glute back. And 10. Come to center. 10 small circles in each direction. 4. 5. 6. 7. Lift up out of your side. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and resist it back in. Now draw your bottom leg in for just a second to give it a little bit of a release. Rotate your femur in the hip socket so you're turning out to a Pilates V position, tracking your knee over your big toe. Extend your legs straight out from your body once again, so it's not coming forward, right? It's coming straight up. We're really stacking right here, so make sure you're not rocking back. Squeeze your glutes, rotate the femur in the hip socket. Lift up out of your side. Rotate the leg that's extended under the foot bar to keep that in Pilates V as well. And now press out and resist back in. Now as you press up, continue to rotate to really work those muscles. No tucking though, right? Try to think of hollowing out from hip to hip again here as well. Good. And here's 6, 7, and 8. Here's 9, and one more for 10 and stay up. And now squeeze up in a Pilates V position, up and turn it out. And 3, turn out both legs. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep it up at the top and front and squeeze back. Rotate your feet around the hip socket even more. Lead with your heel the whole time. Keep your heel forward though. Don't allow it to switch back to parallel as you pull it back. 9 and 10. Come back to center. 10 small circles for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't sink in your side in 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Resist the spring back in and pull your extended leg under. Give it a nice little hug or give it a nice little break. Come up to sitting. We're going to remove our head support. We're going to change our springs around for forward flexion springs. We're going to do the hundreds and we're going to do coordination. So let's go ahead and switch it to 1 medium and 1 light is what I use on my machine that is 1 red and 1 blue. We are going to be doing the hundreds a little differently today. We're going to be pumping our arms on the inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to stop pumping and beat our heels together. So inhale for 5 and pump your arms. Exhale for 5 and beat your heels in a Pilates V heel beat position. So if you thought you were getting away from our thighs and hundreds, I'm sorry you're not. So we're going to come back down the line, bring our straps up to the ceiling, find our nice tabletop position, and now exhale, curl up, extend your legs long, nice wide shoulder blades, and inhale, pump, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop and beat your heels, 2, 3, 4, 5, and pump, 2, 3, 4, 5, and beat, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale. Nice strong fluid inhale and nice fluid exhale and inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop, flex your feet and pump. 2, 3, 4, 5 and beat. 2, 3, 4, 5 and inhale. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 more. Squeeze your inner thighs. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2. Curl a little deeper. 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw your knees into tabletop. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Scooch away from the shoulder block slightly. We're going into coordination. We're also using heel beats here. There'll be progressive heel beats. So on the first one, you do 1 heel beat. On the second coordination, you do 2. We're going all the way to 6. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders as you need to. I will not cue it. If you start to feel your neck too strongly, feel free to leave your head, neck, and shoulders down. Inhale. Exhale to press. Coming up to your working level. Really reach energy out of your fingers, pull them off the mat. Turn your feet out to Pilates feet. Open, close, parallel, tabletop. Arms come in, bending at the elbows. And press and reach. Turn it out to Pilates V. And beat 2 times the width of your foot bar. Pull it into tabletop. So the beats on this one are a little wider. Turn out and beat 1 and a 2 and a 3. Parallel, tabletop, and in, and press. Turn it out, and here's 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Parallel, pull, bend at the elbows, and press through the triceps and turn out. And here's a 5 and a 4 and a 3 and a 2 and a 1. Keep your chin off your chest. Don't crunch on your spine. Turn it out, and here's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull it in and release. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Peg your straps. Find your pegs or your shoulder blocks with your hands. We're going to do the repeater series. So legs in tabletop, extend them out to working level. Flex your feet for the walks. And here's 10, 9, 8, 7. Pull down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. 2, watch me beat your heels. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lift. The reason we're pulling down is to engage underneath our arms and around our ribs. Wrap your ribs even tighter. You're still wearing that corset, right? Now ballet beats. 1, 2, cross at the thigh. Drop your belly to your spine. Find that neutral spine. And up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it into tabletop. Give your knees a hug. We're going to keep it on one red, one blue as we do a long stretch series. I'm going to roll off and come up to the side. We're going to be doing a long stretch a little differently today. We're going to be setting it up, setting ourselves up for success. I'm going to come down with my feet in front of my shoulder blocks. My toes are tucked. I'm reaching forward. I'm hovering my hips, the backs of my hips, my booty, off of my heels as if I was going to be doing, oh my gosh, I lost the exercise. But we're hinged forward. It'll come to me later when I don't need it anymore, right? I've wrapped my ribs, my abdominals are up and in. Don't sway out your low back. Think of tucking your tail slightly to keep a nice neutral spine. And now, without moving the carriage, I'm going to press my hips forward. Squeezing my glutes, squeezing my inner thighs, pulling the foot bar apart for a nice wide shoulder blades, and press it back. And now press forward. I'm in a knee plank. Not very hard yet, right? But find the muscle connections that you need. So pull it in, pull it apart, squeeze under your arms. Try to keep a nice straight line from the tip top of your head up through your tailbone. 2 more right here. On this next one, we're going to stay up in the knee plank. And now we're going to do a knee long stretch. We're going to press away and squeeze in our arms to pull back. We're going to stop. Our shoulders are going to be over our wrists maybe, but our carriage is going to be in at the bumper. We're going to maintain the same position in our body. Our shoulders might lift and lower a little bit, but we don't want to move anything in our body. We don't want any more hinging in our hips. We want a nice openness. All right, now we're going to come back in. We're going to stay right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to press out, squeezing our glutes, coming up into the plank position, leaving our shoulders over our wrists, and then we're going to come back down, back into the hinge position, and press up. Drawing our abdominals up and in. Think of tucking your tail slightly so you're not swaying out your low back. Tuck, 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 and come down. And lift. Squeezing in on those inner thighs and glutes. And now on this next one, it's going to be our last one. We're going to stay up. And we're going to press out just an inch or two and pull our shoulders back over our wrists. And inhale back. Nice, long body. All the way from the tip top of our head, out down to our feet. Nice long line. 1 more. And now, bend your knees down, bring the carriage into the bumper. Sit back for a second, extend your arms over the foot bar in sort of a modified child's pose. Take a nice deep breath. Roll your wrists out from side to side. We're going to go into down stretch, into elephant, and then do some elephant arabesque. So we're going to press forward, squeeze our glutes. Nice chest expansion, but don't sway out, right? We're pressing forward in that straight plank line again, and just with a nice chest lift. And now we're going to press back, squeeze our glutes the whole time, and pull it forward. You should not feel this in your low back. If you do, squeeze your inner thighs together even tighter, and draw your belly button to your spine even further. 2 more. Sorry, I have hair in my mouth. It's tickling me. And pull it back. And now sit back a little bit as you tuck your toes. And now press your hips up, 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 up. Walk your feet so your heels are in front of the shoulder block. Hands nice and wide on the foot bar. Still pulling it apart for a nice wide collarbone. Tuck your tail. Round up, up, up. And press
press your heels back and crease at the hips to pull your heels back under. Nice round back elephant. Your biceps are between your ears, or by your ears. Final one, and round back right now, and then we're gonna come back in and flatten out and flat back. Now when we're flat back, we should straighten out the low back. We still have a slight, tiny little curve in our low back as if we're tucking, just like we were for long stretch. And now press and pull. It's more of a and saw. Saw. Draw your abdominals up and in. Good. Now, I'm going to shift my weight to my right foot. I'm going to bring my left leg through in parallel, flex foot, shooting energy out of my heel. So I'm not sinking into the footboard. I'm really shooting energy out of my heel. And I'm going to do one-legged elephant and pull with my hips in parallel. Take a look at your hips, make sure they're parallel. You're pulling up through your heel that's on the reformer. You're pressing up through your heel that's in the air. Good. Now bring your foot back down. Bring your feet by each other. Turn both out to a nice Pilates V position. A nice mild position. You don't want it as far as you can go. You want it a little bit closer because from there, we're going to swing our foot up. Our hip is splayed slightly, but our shoulders are still facing the foot bar, and we're reaching back strongly. You can point your foot if you'd like to. Really reach up, squeezing on the outer glute, and press. As you press back, squeeze that glute even further to lift your foot higher and higher and higher. Draw your hips up and in and higher. And now bend your knee back. See if you can lift it up even higher from that glute now that the load is lessened of your leg, less weight. 2, 3, 4, 5, and one more for 6. Now extend your leg, reaching energy out of your toes. Bring it back down, coming to your parallel. Place your left foot in front of the shoulder block. We're gonna go to the other side. Go ahead and shift the weight to your left leg. Bring your right foot back into a parallel flex foot air rest position and press back and under. And inhale and exhale. Biceps by your ears. Press away from the foot bar. Don't sink into it. Now bring your foot down. Bring your feet by each other. Come into that gentle Pilates V position. Bring your foot back behind you. Splaying your hips slightly. Shoulders are squared to the foot bar, squeezing up with that glute, and you press back, shooting tons of energy out of your toe. Tons of energy coming out of your top glute. Good. Inhale and exhale. And one more. And exhale. And now bend that leg. Really pull up on that glute. Really pressing away from the shoulder or from the foot bar. And we have 2 more. 1 more. Now extend your leg, come back, down, bringing your foot through parallel. Come down onto your knees. Go ahead and press back into that same child's pose, reaching your arms over the foot bar for just a few moments. When we come up, we're going to switch over to just one blue spring. So go ahead and articulate up, up, up to sitting up tall. We're going to drop it down to one blue spring. Careful, this is very light. I'm going to drop my headrest down to flat. I'm going to face the back. And if you don't have double loops and you have your handles on, go ahead and change it over to your feet straps. We're going to be doing some work with the straps around our thighs, which is why we have such light springs. We want to keep the work in our abdominals. Our hip flexors will be doing some work, but we would like to try to keep it light enough to where our abdominals can really take over the work and not allow our hip flexors to take over too much. So I'm going to place my heels on the end of my headrest. My toes are hanging off. I'm going to pull
one strap around my thigh. I'm gonna cinch it up a little bit. It's gonna go wherever it wants, right? Pull the other one up and around my thigh. Getting it up there. You don't want to be too close to your shoulder blocks because when you try to roll up on the curl ups that we're about to do, your knees are going to spread. You're going to go all over the place. So you have these on your thighs. You need to make sure that you're not dipping your head into the springs at the bottom. If you have long hair, try to leave it. To begin, we're going to squeeze our legs together. Try to come up to sitting up tall. Reach your arms forward. Inhale. Exhale to tuck your tail. Draw your ribs to your hips. And roll back. Tap the mat. Exhale to roll up. Try to keep your heels on the headrest. If you feel your heels pop off, your hip flexors have popped in. Take it over for your abs, and they're trying to help you up. We have 4 more. We're only going to 6. You can do this on the floor or without any straps. Good. Oh, my hip flexors just trying to take over. I need to slow it down. So I'm gonna inhale and tuck and try to roll back very slowly with control. And I'm gonna really draw my ribs to my hips as I pull up. I'm not gonna just allow myself to roll up and down and allow my hip flexors to just take over naturally. I really have to concentrate on putting the work into my abdominals. So I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna lift one foot up to tabletop and then the other. I can place my head in my hands, but I want my abdominals to support my head. I'm going to extend my left leg and pull, and my right leg and pull. Here's 3. We're only going to 6. 4. And 5. Adjust your body as you need to be comfortable on the carriage. Now hold them behind your knees. Roll up to sitting up tall. I'm going to come forward just a little bit. It was not comfortable where my back was on the edge of the carriage. We all have to find our own comfort levels, right? For our own bodies on our carriage, we all have to do what's safest for us. So like I said, if it's more comfortable for you, feel free to do this series on the floor. Inhale, exhale, tuck your tail. Articulate back, 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 back. Bring both legs up to tabletop. Reach your hands for your ankles, or leave your head in your hands, and then extend your legs, extend your arms, or just your legs, and pull it back. No arm circle, just reach and a pull, and reach. And use your abdominals to pull, and your inner thighs. And reach up even taller with your head, neck, and shoulders. 2 more. And final one. Hold on behind your knees. Get up slowly with control. Next, we're going to be doing an elbow to knee variation. Then we'll be doing scissors, and then we'll be doing a teaser series before we're done with this quadruped series right here. So, inhale, exhale to tuck your tail, roll back. Bring both legs up to tabletop, head in your hands, extend your left leg, rotate your left underarm to your right knee. Come back to your center and rotate. Try to transfer the weight to the other leg before you begin to rotate so that you don't bounce all around. This is very much control exercise. Good. Keep both hips evenly grounded. So rotate the ribs across. And rotate the ribs across. Curl up deeper for the last set. Back to center. Hold on behind your knees. Rock it up with control. After we do the teaser, we will go ahead and do a little bit of a stretch. So just 2 more exercises to get through, and then a nice stretch, guys. So inhale, exhale to tuck your tail, roll back. Bring your legs to tabletop. You can have your head in your hands, but extend your legs up to the ceiling. I like to give my legs a pull here though. They've done a lot of work. It's a nice stretch.
Make sure though, just like on the elbow to knee, that you're really incorporating the control. So you want to go nice and slow. Give your body time to adjust to the transfer of weight. As soon as you feel the transfer to the one leg, extend the other way from you. Flex your foot and pull, pull. Really curl it up. If you feel this in your head, neck, and shoulders, rest your head in your hands, or go ahead and take a break. Good. Bend your knees into tabletop. Roll up with control. Go ahead and shake out your neck. Yes, no. Let's go into the teaser. This is the part where if you're too close, you're gonna have some trouble, right? Inhale, exhale to roll back. Bring your legs up to tabletop. Inhale, exhale. Extend your legs as you articulate up to teaser. Now just moving your body, you're gonna articulate down. Uh-oh, my one strap's higher than my other one, pulling me off. And then we're gonna articulate up, and articulate down, 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 leaving your legs where they are in space. You can leave your legs in tabletop for this. One more. Now draw your legs into tabletop. Place them on your headrest. Open your legs or press back. Slide your straps down your legs. Peg them. Bring your feet into your headrest. Round over your legs gently. In a nice butterfly position. If this is a stretch that is available to you. Otherwise, please feel free to find a child's pose if you prefer. Good job, guys. We are going to go into the repeater series again. So, we're going to inhale, exhale, and articulate up to sitting up tall. On the repeater series this time, if you're bouncing around with your body too much, the reformer is only on one blue spring. It will tattle on you. So make sure that you're doing nice, controlled, tiny movements coming from the inner thighs, the outer thighs, the hip joints, the muscles surrounding the hip socket, squeezing in on those glutes. We're going to come down to lying. I'm going to locate my shoulder blocks or my pegs. Mostly that's just because it feels nice in my opinion. Bring my legs up to tabletop, extend to my working level, flex my feet, and walk for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I have to slow way down because I'm moving. And now I'm going to walk up. Pull down on your peg still to really connect with your ribs and your underarms, and down. Good. Turn your feet out to a Pilates seat and beat your heels for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, ballet. 2, 3, cross to the thighs. 3, or 5. Guys, this is where you'll really have your machine chattel on you. And up. 2, 3, 4. Wrap your ribs as if you're wearing a corset, and down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw your feet parallel. Draw them into tabletop. Go ahead and roll to the side. Come up to sitting. We're going to change our springs. We're going to be facing the back of the machine one more time. I'm going to place one medium spring on. So I have one medium, one light. On my machine, that is one red, one blue. I'm going to come up. I'm going to face the back of the machine. I'm going to bring my thighs up against my shoulder blocks, squeeze in through my glutes, open up in the front of my hip flexors. I'm going to stack my shoulders over my hips over my knees. I still have my loops on, so I'm going to choke up until I'm holding on to the metal or the tape, roll my shoulders up, back, and down. I'm going to pull back into chest expansion. I'm going to look to the right, center, left, center, and release. This is just a nice chest opener, guys. Look left, center, right, center, release. A nice front of the hip flexor opener after we just did all that quadruped work, right? Left, center, your hips forward. Right, left, release. Final one. Look left, right, release. From there, we're gonna float our arms out to where they just floated right in front. We're not floating them up high. We're just resting gently in front of us. We're gonna do thigh stretch. We're only going back as far in thigh stretch as to feel the thigh stretch. So, again, this is just an exercise to really release after the quadruped work we just did with our thighs and straps. So press it back, extending long out from the tip top of your head up through your knees. And pull it back up by squeezing your glutes, drawing your abs up and in. My arms are pulling up to pull me forward. If you need that, you've gone too far. So pull it back, leave your arms where they are, and pull yourself back up. One more. Reach back, shoulders nice and wide, and pull it back up. Sit back on your heels. Go ahead and peg your straps. We're going to come off to the side. We're going to leave it on one red and one blue. We are going to be doing some scooter work. The first scooter work I don't really ever do. It's not really scooter. We are going to be doing some side work, some side leg work, some side glute work. I have my foot flat on the reformer. The outside of my foot is slid up against my shoulder block. My toes are underneath the reformer. They're right up by my springs. My foot is touching, my toes are touching right here on my reformer. From there, I'm gonna make a diamond with my hands placed on my sacrum, hinged forward. Drawing my abdominals up and in, keeping the same body alignment that I kept for long stretch series. I'm going to press it out and resist it back in. Don't go like this. Stay grounded through your leg and press, and resist. Resist. Abs up and in. Straight line up through the tip top of your head, up through your tail. It's a small movement. And 9 and 10. Good. Take your foot off. Face the foot bar. Place both hands on. Tuck your toes. Bring the foot closest to the reformer, to the shoulder block closest to you. Bend both knees. Line your knees up so they're in line when both knees are bent. Straight line up through your head, through your tail. Abs up and in, no swaying, right? And we're gonna press in a parallel position and press. I have my standing foot, my calf is pressing into the reformer to add extra stability to my stance. Really inhale and exhale, wrap the ribs. One more. Don't get up. Just take your foot, rotate the femur in the hip socket. Bring the knee to a side and press. Good. We're doing parallel. Then we do turned out on things today, right? There you go. Pause at the top to really extend. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. We're going to come down to the center to go to the other side. We're going to do the repeater series. So, rolling down, 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 down. Find your pegs, find your shoulder blocks. Bring it out to working level. Flex your feet and walk. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn it out to Pilates feet and beat your heels for 10, 9, 8, 7. Pull down on your pegs. And up. 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Ballet beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it to parallel. Draw it in. Roll to the side. Come up to sitting. We're going to go into the side. Work one more time. So I bring my foot to the wood. My toes are right under. You can't see it because of my machine there. I bring my foot
to the carriage. Press the outside of my foot on my shoulder block. My hands go to the diamond. My low back, I hinge forward. Straight line out the top of my head after my tail. And I press and resist. Again, don't press out with your body weight to get there, right? Press and resist. Press and resist. Abs up and they're in. And you press and resist. 8, 9, and 10. Come up to standing. Bring your foot up for safety reasons, right? We're going to place your hands onto the foot bar. Tuck your toes at the leg closest to the carriage. Bend your knees in and down so that your knees are lined up. We're still in that plank position, right? And press it out and in. So we're still tucking our pelvis slightly so we're not swaying out in our low back. 5. And press and squeeze. Squeeze. Nice wide shoulders. You should be pressing up so your shoulders are by your ears. Good, bring it in. Rotate the femur in the hip socket. Turn your leg out to the side and press and resist. Bend your knee even more. You should be feeling it in your standing leg. Again, I'm pressing my calf of my standing leg into the reformer frame for additional support. 8. Here's 9. And here is 10. Good. We're going to be doing standing side controls. Feel free to do the standing side controls on the floor or go ahead and come up on the machine. If you feel unsteady, please feel free to skip this. Also, if you cannot stand up on the machine on your own without holding on to something to grab and pull you up, please don't do this on your own at home. I'm going to go ahead and put my standing platform in first. I still have one medium, one light spring in. I have 2 sticky mats, but I really only like one on my standing platform. I'm going to place one foot on my standing platform, squeeze in through my glutes to stand up, and bring my foot with control to the carriage. I'm going to hinge forward just like we were for the standing side work on the floor. Feel free to do this series again here if you prefer. I have my hands in the diamond on my low back, and I'm going to press out with my carriage leg and back in. My weight's in my platform leg. It's not moving. Abs are up and in. If you find that one red, one blue is too heavy, drop it down to one red. We all want to feel successful here, right? That doesn't mean that we want to stop trying things that are harder though. So I'm going to shift my weight to my carriage leg. I'm going to press out with my standing platform leg now. This is the hardest one. It feels weird, right? It's really squeezed into that glute. Woo, my leg doesn't want to straighten after all this work we've done. Here's 9 and 10. Now, add in the carriage, stand up tall, bring your arms out to your T, spiral out to your pinky blade edge, squeeze down as if you're pressing down on something. Squeeze your glutes to open up your hip flexors, open up both legs equally, and resist the springs back in. And inhale, wrap your ribs back in. Good. 6. And press out with your outer glutes. Now, if you're worried that we haven't hit the inner glutes here, or the inner thighs here, don't worry. We are hitting a lot of outer thigh here, but I'm going to transfer my weight to my platform leg, step off, and change my spring tension. One red or one blue for the inner thigh controls. If you feel iffy today, or if today's not your day, please leave it on one red. If you're feeling like you got it, whoops, stand up, place your foot on your standing platform, heel ball, toe your foot out to the middle, turn your feet out slightly if you like, squeeze your glutes, press your heels forward, arms out in the T, pressing down on the pinky blade edge, and reach and squeeze your legs together. Whenever I do this exercise, I think of one of those old school nutcrackers, the silver ones with the walnut area in the middle. Imagine that you're a nutcracker and squeeze it up. Good. Here's 8 and 9. Open it up, wrap your ribs. Press it down to really connect in your ribs and underneath your arms. We're gonna do one more because I think I counted wrong earlier. And now begin to toe ball your heel back into the edge of the carriage. Bring your foot off the back. Oop, the sticky mat sticks to my foot. Before you go around to the other side, go ahead and replace your springs for your standing outer thigh side controls. I originally started with one red, one blue. That's one medium, one light. I did say that if you're feeling iffy about that, you should just drop it down to one medium or one red. So let's go ahead and come to the other side. My left foot's going to the standing platform. The first thing that I'm going to do is squeeze my glutes to press it up. Bring my foot with control to the carriage, my right foot. Place my hands in a diamond on my sacrum. Wrap my ribs. Hinge it forward. Straight line from the tip top of my head up through my tailbone. Place my weight in my standing platform leg and press it out and resist it back in. 3. Wrap your ribs, abs up and in. Shoulders nice and wide. Press through your heel a little bit more to get a little bit more oomph. So you're really working the back of the body here. Good. Now bring it all the way into the bumper. Switch your weight, so your weight's in your carriage leg, and press out with your standing platform leg and come back in. The first couple are always a little weird. Don't allow your hips to shift. Ooh, your hips are shifting, right? Good. Make sure that you're really pressing through the glute. Ooh, it's burning. 9. And 1 more. Bring it to the bumper. Stand up tall. Squeeze your glutes to press your hip flexors open. Wrap your ribs, arms to a T. Press it down to your pinky blade edge and open equally and resist it back in. Good. Here's 2. And 3. 4. And press it open and resist. Good. We're going on to the inner thigh next. So if you don't need to change down to one red or one blue, just stay up on the carriage. Otherwise, transfer your weight to your standing platform leg. Step off the back of your carriage leg. I'm transferring down to one blue or one light spring. If you feel like one red is optimal for you today, please stay there. Squeezing it up. Place my foot back in the carriage. Toe ball heeling into about the middle of the carriage. I'm turning my feet out slightly, squeezing my glutes over my hip flexors, squeezing my inner thighs. I don't want to keep my carriage in at the bumper. Wrapping my ribs, spiraling out to my pinky blade edge of my arms in a T, and pressing it out. My inner thighs are really tired. They don't want to do this exercise, right? If you feel like you don't have control, with your foot in the middle of the carriage, toe ball heel, your foot back towards the standing platform. Keep breathing. Good. Here's 7. Press down to really wrap the ribs. Good. 8. 9. 1 more. And squeeze it back in. Now toe ball heel where you're squeezing your inner thighs still. When you're at the edge of the carriage, place your weight in your standing platform leg. Step back with your carriage leg. You never want to step off with your standing platform leg first. It's a very bad idea, very dangerous, right? I'm going to remove my standing platform. I'm going to remove all my sticky mats. I'm going to bring my foot bar back up. We're going to come down and do our final repeater series. So, coming down, I'm going to bring my headrest up actually, and I'm going to actually change it over to 1 red and 1 green spring for our next exercise as well. That's 1 heavy and 1 medium on my machine. I'm going to come lying on my back, find my pegs, feet in tabletop,
Pulling down on my pegs to really engage the core of my body. Extend my feet to working level. Flex my feet and walk. Tiny walks. Squeeze my inner thighs. And up. Good. And down. I'm going to point my feet, turn them out to Pilates feet, and beat my heels for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Final set of ballet beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Abs up and in. 9, 10, 1. I used to have a teacher that would do tower, and we'd do feet and springs, and we'd do a series similar to this the entire class, but we'd repeat it 2 or 3 times every time we'd repeat it. And that was hard. Parallel, draw your knees into tabletop, place your feet on the foot bar. Press it out. Find your straps. We're doing feet and straps, guys. Place one foot in, extend it. Place the other foot in. Draw your legs into frog. Scooch slightly away from the shoulder blocks so you're comfy. Find a nice neutral spine. If your frog's tight, that's great, but if you're going like this and your frog this tight, that's not great. Really ground in through your sacrum. Find a neutral spine and press your feet out, squeezing in towards the center, using your inner thighs. Pull back in. Rotate that femur in the hip socket and frog. Good. We have 10 here. We're on 4. Here's 5, 6, 7. Now notice where you find that position where you really feel your glutes kick in as you're pulling back in frog. We want to keep that in mind, so really try to find it here. This is the final one. Where are your glutes kicking on here? And now press it out. Bend your legs into a wide diamond until you find that position. Now without changing the bend in your knees, try to lower your feet a little bit to try to find a little bit more. Now close your legs as if they were a book. Everything's in parallel. Rotate the femur in the hip socket to open it like you're opening a book. And close, and open, and close, and open. Good. Keep breathing. You should feel this strongly around your hips and your inner thighs, but it still feels nice. Now we're going to close. We're going to open. We're going to leave it open. We're going to float our legs up in that wide diamond, leaving a nice flat sacrum. Now squeeze in through your rotators around your hip flexors and your hips and your inner thighs, and pull it down to working level and float it up. Squeeze strongly. I find the diamond lower lift with feet and straps to be much harder than the straight leg. For myself personally. Good. Nice long diamond shape. Nice elongated diamond. Good. 7. 8. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. We're going to do open, close at the top, and then 5 circles in each direction. 1 more down. And now float your legs out to the top, extend them long, staying in a Pilates. So we're going to open, nice inner thigh stretch, and flex our feet to close. Find that nice inner thigh stretch before you flex your feet to close. This is still an inner thigh, outer thigh exercise. So you have to control both to get your feet to open equally and close equally. We're not going to change the choreography here. Let's just enjoy the movement. Here's 9. Don't allow your tailbone to pop up. And now, point your feet. You're going to open up the width of the reformer. Pull them down to working level. Squeeze them together. Float them back up to the center and open with the reformer. Pull it down. Squeeze and lift. And here's 3. These are very controlled circles. Here's 4. Pilates feet the whole time. And lift. And now squeeze down through the center. Open the width reformer and float your legs back up. Don't allow them to flat all over when you're floating them back up. Really control the movement. Good. And squeeze. If your legs are bouncing in the center, try to really control that with your inner thighs. So we squeeze and lower. And up. And squeeze. Now come into a frog. Take one foot out. Extend it to find the foot bar. Extend that leg long and take the other foot out. Resist the springs coming back into the machine, into the bumper. Come up to standing. We're going to change it out to one glue. That is one leg spring on my machine. We have some stretching. Then we're all done. I'm going to find that same position that I had earlier when I said we're going to come back to this position. So my toes are touching the wood on the outside. My foot's flat on the carriage with the outside of my foot in the shoulder block. I'm going to find my hands on the edge of the carriage. I'm going to straighten my legs and I'm going to press out to a straddle or a side split. I'm going to pull it back up, tucking my tail slightly to accommodate coming back up. And I'm going to press it out to more of a flat back style position. As much as I can, tuck my tail, come up. One more. From here, we're going to go into a psoas stretch. Not an Eve's lunge just yet. We'll do an Eve's lunge at the end. But the first part is very much going to be a psoas stretch. So, with my right foot, I'm going to find the front edge of the wood on my carriage. My left foot's going to lift up, tuck my toes, find the shoulder block. I'm going to rest my knee on the carriage. If you need something under your knee, feel free. And then I'm going to tuck my tail even deeper and try to sink down. I'm not moving the carriage, but I feel this strongly in the front of my head. And pull it back up. And I'm going to sink down, really feeling it. I'm not moving the carriage yet. And up, and now one more. Sink down, feel it strongly. And now press the carriage back. And press it all the way back into a split. My front leg is extended. I'm going to leave my left hand on the machine, flip my right hand up if it's available to me, and side bend towards the opposite side, lifting up out of my left side. Coming back up, placing my hand back on the foot bar, bending my front knee to draw the carriage in, and lifting back up. I'm going to come to the other side. I'm going to place my left toes underneath the carriage, pressing into the wood. I'm going to bring my right foot up. The outside of my right foot is pressing into the shoulder block. My hands are going to find the edge of the carriage. From there, I'm going to press it out to a side straddle split. I'm going to tuck my tail, pull it back up, and I'm going to press it out. Riding along with the stretch, finding the movement, enjoying the breath. We have one more. Nice inner thigh stretch, and pull it back in. From there, I'm going to take my foot off of the carriage. I'm going to face the foot bar, bring my toes to the front edge of the wood, tuck my toes on the other foot, bringing it up on the carriage, bending my knee down, squeezing my glutes to press my hip flexor forward. Now I'm just going to press down a little bit by bending my standing leg, really opening up in the front of that hip flexor, and release, and bend. This is a deep psoas stretch. I feel it down the front of my thigh as well. One more. And stretch out that psoas first before you start to press back. And press back into the split. Now if it's available to you, take your outside hand off to a T and side bend strongly to the other side, pressing down into the pinky blade edge on your foot bar, drawing your shoulder away from your ear. Come back up. Place the hand on the foot bar, bend your knee to come in, and now come off the machine real fast, just for safety purposes. We're going to place both hands on the foot bar, come back on, tuck our toes in front of the shoulder block, or if you prefer, which I do, I'm going to place my feet, my knees are going to be in front of the shoulder blocks, my toes are going to be touching in the center of the headrest. I'm going to come up to a quadruped position from here. I
I have to spiral out to my pinky blade edge to keep the carriage in the bumper. I don't want to be pressing away from the bumper. I only have one leg spring on. From here, I'm going to tuck my head, tuck my tail, press up into a cat. I'm going to release, still squeezing back on the foot bar, but pulling my head and my tail up into the cow. Now tuck my tail. This is a very active stretch because I'm having to engage under my arms and in around my ribs so strongly. And lift, still wrapping my ribs. One more. Tuck for cat. Don't allow your carriage to float away from the bumper. And then you lift, lift, lift. Come back to neutral. Release back to your heels. Take a nice deep breath, guys, lifting your arms up. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed class as much as I did at taking class with you. If you have any questions or needing modifications, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I hope you guys join me again. Thank you.